What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We out here with some more Tom MacDonald. This time we checking out his song New World Order, and it looks like he's got Adam on this. Okay, now we about to go ahead and get suited up. As you guys know, Tom MacDonald definitely ain't the one to hold punches. Definitely just comes out and says, you know, everything he's thinking on his mind, doesn't pull any punches. Adam is somewhat of the same way. So I'm excited. Let's see what we got going on. Let's go ahead, shut up and turn it up.
Here's the problem with America.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I wasn't ready. Here we go.
Here's the problem with America. The country is broken because they minds stay closed, but they mouths stay open. Get attacked and we blame terrorists. Go broken, we blame the price. Blame racists for the racism, but only if his skin is white. If we don't need guns.
Blame racists for the racist, but only if the skin is white, right? So you won't find me doing any of these things, right? To my absolute core, I don't, in my eyes, everybody is a human, regardless of what your skin is, right? You bleed red just like I do. Regardless of what your skin color is, I'm going to treat you as a human being, right? So some of these things sometimes that Tom MacDonald is saying, I can't necessarily relate, only because these aren't things that I participate myself, right? But I do understand where he's coming from, though.
Go broken, we blame the price. Blame racists for the racism, but only if his skin is white. If we don't need guns, because we can call the police. We don't need fire extinguishers. Call a fireman, please. You didn't want to build.
Well, if we don't need guns, because you can call the police. So basically, guns are there. The argument is that you have guns in order to protect your property, to protect your household, right? Fires, right? You have a fire extinguisher to protect the home. He's basically saying that if you're going to take away the guns, right, which are there to protect your safety and everything, then take away the fire extinguisher to protect the safety of your household. He's kind of doing a comparison right there. I don't know if I'm going to call that extreme, but I get the point.
Build a wall and now the border police. We don't need fire extinguishers. Call a fireman, please. You didn't want to build a wall and now the border is weak. Your favorite actor has a gate that's like 15 feet. Racism is gay if you're a
Okay.
Border is weak. Your favorite actor has a gate that's like 15 feet. Racism is gay if you're offended, that's retarded. And tolerance is great until you speak and you're a target. If a white man paints his face black, he's a racist piece of garbage. But you put him in a dress and he's courageous and he's gorgeous.
Yeah. I think we all know who he's talking about, that right there, who won the Women of the Award. What did they win? The Women of the Year Award, yeah.
A white man paints his face black, he's a racist piece of garbage, but you put him in a dress and he's courageous and he's gorgeous.
The whole thing about, blackface and everything. So here's the thing. It all boils down. There's some people who would just get triggered like immediately as soon as they start seeing these things. For me, it all boils down to the intent, right? Now, obviously, if they're trying to dress up as a Halloween costume or whatnot, then I understand, right? They're not necessarily racist. They just want to dress up as somebody who they idolize and everything. But since we're in such a sensitive world, right, everybody finds something to be offended by, if you will, right? And I've said this in my other Tom MacDonald reactions, and I've said it on my other videos and everything, that, you're 100% responsible for what offends you, because you could just simply look the other way. But some people just really, really want to be up in arms about every single thing when you could just simply be minding your business.
A white man paints his face black, he's a racist piece of garbage, but you put him in a dress and he's courageous and he's gorgeous. All these double standards, man, I'm tired of the noise. Freedom's an illusion if they censor your voice. Call a dad a deadbeat for neglecting his boys, but a mom kills a baby and you call it pro-choice.
So dad's a deadbeat for neglecting his boys, but if a mom if she's pregnant, she kills the baby, then it's pro-choice, right? So dad neglecting the baby, I guess it all depends on, what do you consider as being alive, right? Because deadbeat dad leaving his kid, the kid has needs, the needs need to be fulfilled, right? So if you don't consider a woman being pregnant as a kid being alive, then I see that point of that argument where you're like, well, the kid's not born yet. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get rid of it. You know what I mean? But he's saying that pretty based off the lyric that he's just saying is that he looks at it as the same, right? The kid is alive when a woman is pregnant. The kid is alive when the dad leaves them. Regardless, the kid didn't decide to be in this situation, regardless what the situation is, right? The kid is here, so now you must provide. But if you're going to say this, then it needs to apply to others. Otherwise, that's a double standard. Now, I have 2 kids of my own, right? I 100% would consider, with my wife being pregnant and everything, that kid is alive. You know what I mean? So the kid didn't decide to be in my wife's belly, right? That's not the kid's fault, but we're here now. So I'm going to take care of that kid all the way to when he's born, and of course, and so on and so forth. But I do see both sides of that argument. And not only that, but there's also those certain circumstances where the woman gets pregnant beyond her control and everything. So it's a very, very touchy subject. Very, very touchy subject. But this is Tom MacDonald we're talking about here.
A deadbeat for neglecting his boys, but a mom kills a baby and you call it pro-choice. You act like you're so much better than us. Yeah, we know that. Who told you that you so special to a new world order? Your facts ain't facts without censoring us. Yeah, we know that. Good job, you lose. Here's your medal to a new world order.
That's interesting. Your facts aren't facts unless you censor us, right? So facts are the truth, regardless of what you do. Is the truth. You go search it up, it's going to be the truth, right? The only time it's not a fact is if there's an opinion, right? And if it's an opinion, then of course you're going to do everything you can to defend it against people who don't share your opinion. Another form of censorship would be, for instance, on Twitter. If you say something that you believe to be a fact, but actuality, in fact, it is an opinion, then what you would do to try to censor them, you will block them because they're pretty much countering against what you believe to be a fact, right? But if it's a fact, you don't need to do certain things, because no matter what happens, the truth is always going to emerge, no matter what. And that is the definition of a fact. Anything else is an opinion, right? Okay. That was an interesting line.
Good job, you lose. Here's your medal to a new world order. Why they hate the flag, they try to burn it to the ground. Don't do that in front of me, I'ma let off a round. Pow, scream loud, burn the city down now. Put it on the news, make them all feel proud. Look, make a system where 85% of black people fill the prison. Is it cause they black or they make bad decisions? I ain't good at math, but it seems like it's division. Or is it white privilege?
So basically, Adam is challenging the fact that, black people as a whole aren't systematically targeted, right? While they end up in the prisons and everything. They believe that he has a stance that, that the black people are actually making these bad decisions that are leading them into prison, as a fact to them just being taken off the street and thrown in prisons without them actually having to do anything, right? Now, I do not have statistics and data to more knowledgeably speak on that. Okay. I will say, for instance, that I believe that it is a mix of both. Okay. There are bad decisions that are being made, but sometimes we are products of our environment. You know what I mean? Not necessarily born in like the same type of place where you have all these type of people. Cause I'm thinking about when I was growing up, right? The type of things that are around me. I see people doing these type of things, and I see them have these type of achievements and everything and stuff. And then naturally, I'm going to want that, right? And when you're younger, you don't necessarily have I'm talking about young. You don't necessarily have that kind of idea or that concept fully grasped about what's right and what's wrong. So if you live this type of life growing up and you keep growing up, then these things are just pretty much all you know. Right. So you're going to be some decisions and everything that you are going to make that's going to land you in prison. That's that one side. Right. And then there's this other side where you got some of the really, really neighborhoods. Like you got people who I think there's this video the other day where this guy who was actually on a route or whatnot, and he was being harassed by, a bunch of people and asking, hey, what are you doing in this neighborhood? What are you doing in this neighborhood and everything? And of course, he clapped back and everything. The police didn't end up getting involved. But I could think of a circumstance like that where it's taken to the extreme. He gets arrested just simply because he was just trying to do his job. You know what I mean? There's stories out there like that. Again, I think when it comes to lyrics like this, and we start having a debate, how important it is to not have tunnel vision and kind of understand where both sides are. Okay.
Bad decisions. I ain't good at math.
As a matter of fact, because I was in that type of lifestyle, well, of style. I obviously made the decision to not do those things, but as a black man, I can understand that better than anybody else who isn't born in those type of circumstances, because I do know that there are decisions that I could have made, that I almost made, that would have landed me there, right? Okay.
Black people feel the prison. Is it cause they black or they make bad decisions? I ain't good at math, but it seems like it's division. Or is it white privilege? I believe politicians need to be locked up. Try to take our freedoms, that's how you get shot up. Got our back against the wall, try to just stop us. More guns, more ammunition, please stock up. Election gets rigged, rights get infringed. Take this syringe, frighten your kids, show up right where you live. Make me wanna grab a rifle and just go.
You act like you're so much better than us. Yeah, we know that. Who told you that you so special? To a new world order.
That's interesting. You act like you much better than us, right? That's the thing about opinions and about like social, like what you call like a social currency. I like to think of like I'm gonna take Twitter for instance, because that's a very, 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 very high engagement, right? As far as things that you post and stuff, people be retweeting it and everything, and people kind of take whatever you say and you can kind of gain like what I call like social currency, whereas like all of these many likes, you get all these retweets and everything, then that somewhat makes you feel, special, like, oh snaps, I'm like this big type of dude and everything, but you never know if they're laughing at you or laughing with you or laughing at you, right? But as I said at the beginning of the video, New World Order, not necessarily a total government overtake, right? Not that type of sense of New World Order, but the fact that things are so much more different now as far as what censorship, the things that you can say, the things that you can do, and whatever type of backlash and everything that you can experience. That's what I think of when I think of New World Order, right? Kind of like the citizens, the population, right? Just kind of having, a different mental like outlook on certain things, as opposed to like conspiracy theories of governments being taken over stuff or a new government rising. So I don't think that was the purpose of this title.
Facts ain't facts without censoring us. Yeah, we know that. Good job, you lose, here's your medal. To a new world order. And everyone blames white folks for every little bitty thing. We don't have no one to blame, we take responsibility. They tell you be a man, then call it toxic masculinity. Then when you act too feminine, they call it white fragility.
So first I'm hearing that word, white fragility. I've never heard that. Toxic masculinity. I don't know, guys. See, this is the thing. I sometimes, depending on like these words, sometimes I just feel like I'm so far removed. Like me and my wife, we're both old fashioned. We're not ignorant of what's going on out there and everything, but toxic masculinity. I've heard of the word before, but it's almost like you're trying to rob like everything that makes a guy like a guy. You know what I mean? But then he said, if you take away too much, right? What did he say? Fragility? I've never heard that word before.
They tell you be a man, then call it toxic masculinity.
Like be a man. Good instance would be like I see some of these posts on Facebook and everything that talk about, they go to the date and everything, and if they don't pay for the date and everything, then they're not necessarily a real man. You know what I mean? Real man. But then turn around and say like something different, like what would you call it? The whole entire mansplaining, right? Mansplaining. That's a very interesting word, mansplaining. Which I guess can be kind of tied to toxic masculinity, right? I saw this government thing where this woman called this guy, told him that he was mansplaining, and then he said, "Aren't you doing exactly what you are accusing me to do? You are saying that I'm talking down on you because I am a man, talking down on you, right?" So, you say. If I'm mansplaining and I'm doing a certain thing that's tied to just because I'm a man, right? Then that's sexist, right? You're saying that because I'm a man, I'm doing this to you. Then that's sexist. So that didn't make any sense to me as well. So I don't understand the title of mansplaining. But even if you try to explain it as I'm explaining it now, some people will call that mansplaining. So it's just I can't wrap my head around stuff like that. It's just like, okay, all right, but okay, kind of got off track there. Sorry.
We don't don't have no one to blame, we take responsibility. They tell you be a man, then call it toxic masculinity. Then when you act too feminine, they call it white fragility.
I don't understand trans man with humility. I'm just trying to raise my kid the best of my ability. If I disagree, you try to cancel, get rid of me. You cancer, you can't be the answer, you killing me.
That's interesting. Just trying to raise honestly, whatever goes on in the household between, like I take this stance right here. Okay. I'm gonna raise my kid to the best of my ability until I got 2 kids, till he and she is out of the house and are grown enough to make their own decisions. Right. And I've done everything I can. Now it's time for you to make your own decisions, decide how you're going to live your life. If whatever you want to do is however you want to do out there, that's cool and everything. That's good. I'm not going to feel like a failure of a father because I raised you to the best of my ability. But eventually, right, just how the bird has to let the little birdies fly the nest on their own, got to push them out. They got to make their own decisions. They're the ones who got to live with these things, not you. It's your job to be a parent and love them regardless. And that's what I think right there. I think that's what being a parent is. Just try to raise your kids to the best of your ability and just kind of axe out everyone else, because at the end of the day, they are not taking care of your kids. You are.
If I disagree, you try to cancel, get rid of me. You cancer, you can't be the answer, you killing me.
And I hate white supremacy just as much as you, but I ain't feeling guilty for something I didn't do. The system's killing everyone, it sucks, but it's true. They kill you, then they broadcast it and call it the news.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're not partaking, yeah. And there's some thinking that's saying that even if you aren't partaking in it, you're still benefiting from it. I see that part of the argument is everything. But like I say, he didn't do so. You know, you can't blame the future generations for the actions on the past, actions that were taken by the past, unless they are still doing those said actions, right? There's nothing you can do about that. Like, the past is the past. What you should probably try to do is focus on, moving forward, and seeing whatever type of solutions to whatever problems that you may have. So that's what he's saying. Like, he's not going to apologize for something that he didn't do. And why should you apologize for something that you didn't do? Makes sense, right? Now, white supremacy, you know, I don't think of Tom MacDonald as a white supremacist. I don't think that. But yeah, if he's not one, then why would he feel the need to take blame for that? So it's interesting. Some people call Tom MacDonald white supremacist.
I hate white supremacy just as much as you,
but I ain't
feeling guilty for something I didn't do. The system's killing everyone, it sucks, but it's true. They kill you, then they broadcast it and call it the news.
Or they'll brainwash you through social media feeds. And if you disagree, delete you immediately. Make America China pretty easy to see. I will always remember the land of the free.
You act like you're so much better than us. Yeah, we know that.
You compare like restrictions and everything to that they have over there in China as opposed to the type of freedoms that we do enjoy here. I think something like that is that fully isn't represented or understood unless you actually went to another country and then saw like a huge kind of culture shock, and then you come back to America, then you're like, oh wow, you know, I couldn't do this or this or this there. I couldn't do this or this or this there. I see all types of videos and everything about African Americans who go over to China, and then they do blogs that are talking about, you know, how they felt as though, now I'm not saying it's a fact, but how they felt as though they were treated over there. You know what I mean? And then they come back to America and then they're like, oh, well, actually compared to over there, it actually wasn't all that bad. You know what I mean? So almost kind of like a grass is always greener kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Like you're so much better than us. Yeah, we know that. Who told you that you so special? To a new world order. Your facts ain't facts without censoring us. Yeah, we know that. Good job, you lose. Here's your medal. To a new world order.
Nova. Oh, and they got a whole entire album coming out called The Brave. Okay. That's an interesting title, right? The Brave. Some of the stuff that Tom MacDonald, you know, I always feel like it's easy to sit back and criticize, especially when you're talking about the things that Tom MacDonald talk about. You know what I mean? Like, he definitely say some stuff that a lot of us wouldn't say, that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking about. They just won't say it out of fear of backlash, right? Because not everybody can kind of get away from trying to be, you know, to not everybody can escape that backlash and everything. So we called it The Brave because that's probably how they feel. And it's probably, you know, how a lot of people would feel, you know, if they were to say something like, oh, you brave for saying that, you know what I mean? Like if you had a friend that was going to post something that you think is like really, really touchy, you'd be like, ooh, you braving it. And then, of course, you got those other people who think that, you know, you're pretty much just taking advantage of talking about topics and everything, and, you know, making songs around and kind of banding around that and everything, rehashing the same stuff in every song, just talking about the same stuff, you know, pretty much going on the internet, finding things that are super sensitive and then putting them in a rap and everything. I'm still can't get over that. Your facts, you know, facts ain't facts, you're being censored. Like, there's so much truth to that. That's kind of crazy, right? Because if it's a fact, you wouldn't need to censor it. So, okay. Well, that's another Tom MacDonald reaction in the back. 21 minutes. That's crazy. My bad. Sometimes, you know, I get really talkative about stuff like this. Definitely like to share my opinions. And I know that for sure, most of them aren't facts. They're just how I feel. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you know, it's just my opinions at the end of the day. So that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.